Okay, 7th graders, we're going to go through some examples of finding slope. Yesterday we talked about slope and what the slope of a line is, and then when you're given a line, how to find the slope of that line. In other words, how far it goes up or down for every unit that it goes over to the right. Okay? And you did some practice problems on this today. Number one, we worked on this together. The first point on the line in number 1 is marked right here. What is the coordinates of that point? What are the coordinates of that point number 1? Keyshawn? No, it's not over. You mean it's over 0. Okay, it's on the y-axis. Henry?
Yep.
What is it? Pay attention. Come on, guys. Lydia?
0, 2.
0, 2, right, 0, 2. So it crosses at those whole number points. Now, when you are calculating the slope of a line, it's really helpful if you're just given the line to mark the points that you're going to use. So mark those 2 points on the line that's given. Okay? Those are whole number points. I didn't mark this point because it's a half, approximately a half. I didn't mark this point up here because it's not on a corner. Find a corner and mark the point. This is on a corner. This is on a corner. And so we can count from one dot to the other dot, or from one point on the line to the other point on the line. Noah, how far does it go down?
Will be negative.
How far does it go down?
It goes down 1.
Count. 1,
3.
2, 3. Right, it goes down 3. The first number in the fraction on a slope is how far it goes up or down. Since it goes down 3, what number should we use, Kira?
-3.
-3. Then, from there, count over. Now, in this case, it goes over to the right. So it's a positive number. How far, Dylan? Pay attention, please. How far? Yep. B1. So what would we write? What would we write? Just pay attention, okay? Follow along with me. What would we write on for the bottom? 1. Since it goes down 3, we write -3. And since it goes right 1, we write +1. What is the slope then, when you put it all together? How could we write the slope? John?
Like that. -3/1.
We could write it as -3/1, or we could write it as just -3, or
3/-1.
or 3/-1, or
Is it like every 3 goes down, it goes 1 to the right?
right, or as it goes to the right, it goes down 3.
Yeah.
Yep. So in other words, this is also on the line. Yep. How else could we write this? Just negative and then 3/1. Okay? All of those equal the same slope. They all equal the same slope of -3/1. Okay? Now, I showed you that because when you count, you might count up and over. So in other words, you might want to go from this dot to this dot. In that case, we'd count up 3 and then left 1. Which one of these shows us up 3 and left 1? Hunter?
Up 3 and down 1?
Not up 3 and down 1, up 3 and left 1.
Yeah.
Which one of those shows up 3 and left 1?
It would be the 3 over -1.
Correct. 3 over -1. But they're equal, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, let's go to number 2. In number 2, it crosses at this point and down 4 this point. Oops, down 4 over 2. Right here. Did you find those points where it crosses a corner? So mark those points on number 2, and then count. Chase?
So you either can go down 5 or up 5.
Yep.
And then you either
Let's do down 5, since that's the one going to the right. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then you go over to the right 2.
Down 5, and then over 2. 1, 2. So this is just the counting. This is on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right 2. -5 over +2. Okay? Or if you counted up, you would get 1, 2, 3, 4, +5, and then -2. It's still a negative slope, isn't it? How do we know it's a negative slope by looking at the line? Just by looking at the line, how do you know that's a negative slope? Troy?
The line is going like to the left.
Down as it's going to the
Right.
right. It's going down and to the right. Okay? Any line that's going up and to the right is a positive slope. Yeah. What if the line went this way? Imagine that being straight, okay, on that line. What if the slope went that way? What would that be? What would you write for a slope?
Slope.
It's a horizontal line. What is a slope of a horizontal line? You remember? That is a 0 slope. That is a 0 slope. So you would write 0 when it's a horizontal line. Okay? What if the slope went straight up and down? What if the line looks like this? What is the slope of a vertical line? Do you remember we talked about this yesterday? Keisha?
-5.
No, it's not negative.
Positive.
It's called
Vertical.
undefined.
Right.
That's what you would write for a line that goes straight up and down, a vertical line. Write this down if you didn't yesterday. A vertical line equals an undefined slope. Meaning that, how far does it go over? How far does this line go over? No, does it go over at all? As the line goes to the right, does it go over at all? So it goes over
0.
what? 0. It goes over 0. What if you put that in your calculator? Put in a number, let's say put in 5. And go put in 5 divided by 0 right now.
That's a 0.
Lindsay, can you read us what it says?
That's a divide by 0.
It's the divide by 0 error. Sometimes it'll say syntax error. You can't divide by 0. And so we call it an undefined slope. Okay? Now, let's take the horizontal line. How far does it go up or down as it moves to the right? James? 0, right? So in this fraction, it would look like 0 over a number, 0 over 5, or 0 over 8, or 0 over 10, or whatever it is. But the 0 is in the numerator because it goes up or down 0. It stays flat. It's a horizontal line. It doesn't go up or down, does it? It goes up or down 0. So the slope is 0. Does that make sense? Good, good. Make sure you memorize these. A horizontal line is a 0 slope, and a vertical line is an undefined slope. Okay? Alright, let's go to number 3. Wait, we did number 3 together. Let's do number 4. Number 4 gives us some points, L and M. The points are -3, 6, and 5, -1. How are we going to find the slope if we're given these 2 points? Henry?
You do y minus y and x minus x.
Good, good. We use the slope formula, right? Y minus y, but we have to keep the same order. So when we write the formula, we write y2 minus y1, which is the second coordinate of y, minus the first coordinate of y, so that you remember to do the second coordinate of x minus the first coordinate of x. You keep the same order at which you're finding the difference in the points. And it's always the y coordinates over the x coordinates. Right? Remember this from yesterday? So, let's use the numbers. Put in the numbers now. Put in the numbers now. Nikki, what order did you use?
I used 6 minus -1.
Okay? So, 6 minus -1. And since we started with this coordinate, the L coordinate, we have to go back to the L coordinate. -5, right. Now, notice also, be careful when you're doing this that you don't forget to put in the minus sign and the negative number. Okay, that's a common mistake, because you're thinking, oh, it's just minus, so it's 6 minus 1. No, it's 6 minus -1. You can't forget to put in the other minus sign. Okay? Now we need to simplify this. Minus minus equals plus. So this is 7 over what?
2.
No. Insert a plus sign. Lydia?
-8.
-8. What?
-8.
Yeah, -8. Okay. Did you get it? All right. You should copy this then. Copy these down so you practice it. slope is always written either as a fraction or a whole number over 1. Okay? Henry,
What if we got -7 over 8?
what if you got -7 over 8? Is that the same?
Yes.
Yeah, remember that list that I gave you? That's why I did that. Okay? Because it doesn't matter where the negative sign is. It makes the whole line negative. And that means that the slope is negative. It's going down to the right. Now, if you have 2 negative signs, that's wrong. That's positive, isn't it? Okay? Number 5. Let's do one more. That gives us point J at 6, -2. And point K at 4, 3. Now, what's important is to subtract them in the same order and what else? We have to find x over y or y over x.
X over no, Y over X.
Y over x, yes. So start with the y coordinates. Who did this one? Who wants to take us through this one? Kira?
Okay. So I did. Well, I did
Joy?
minus. Wait, no.